Family.
Good.
I didn't want to interrupt y'all the other night at Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, yeah.
I know what it's like eating with small children.
Luckily, they are getting to the age where it's a lot easier.
For the best, you didn't see my applesauce covered. Job.
We've been there. We're at the age where it's like, we gotta order 2 kids' meals, so it kind of stinks, you know?
Yeah, we're not there yet. I can still share. Maeve has an egg allergy, so eating out is just not even worth it sometimes.
Yeah, if we don't order it, then they eat all our food. If
Right.
we do order it, they don't eat.
When Russell found out they had like steak on the kids menu, we were done. He loves
Yeah,
steak.
that's why our youngest Charlie, she wants steak every time.
Charlie, oh that's cute.
Charlie.
Charlie. Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlotte's my daughter's middle name. I wanted a name for Charlotte. Matt thought it was a big name.
Yeah, her real name's Charleston, but we call her Charlie.
Oh.
And then she calls herself Cha Cha.
Chuck. Dancer.
So,
That's funny. I'm gonna get this figured out.
All 3 of us are
Right. Good evening and welcome to the August 19th meeting of the Conway City Planning Commission. I will call this meeting to order and Drew will call the roll.
Rebecca Fincher.
Present.
I'm Drew Spergers, and I'm here. Ethan Reed.
Present.
Lori Quinn.
Here.
Mark Ferguson.
Present.
Alexander Bainey.
Present.
Jensen Tilkey. Jay Winborn.
Here.
Brooks Davis is not here. And Tanisha Roundtree is also not here.
Thank you, Drew. We do have a quorum. If you've had the opportunity to read the minutes that were sent out in the packet, I'll take a motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? For those joining us, you will note that those were the minutes from the June 17th meeting, as we did not have a commission meeting in July. So for tonight's agenda, we have a subdivision review that will not be a public hearing, and then we will move into our public hearing portion of the night. All of the public hearing items will require 6 votes. And so just a few housekeeping things. The Conway Planning Commission makes recommendations to the City Council on public hearing items. Items reviewed on this agenda will be considered by the City Council as early as August 27th, 2024. Items not approved by the Planning Commission but Board of Zoning Adjustment may be appealed to the City Council within 30 days of the date of denial. And so with that, we will move into our first agenda item, the subdivision review. And Ryan has us.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is a curb and gutter construction exception. This is in the Orchard Hills subdivision. It's roughly 18.73 acres. The applicant is coming requesting an exception to our subdivision regulations, which requires the construction of curb and gutter on all lots with less than 150 feet of street frontage. The lot lines of lots 2 and lot 3 are in place due to an existing residence on lot 3. Due to the placement of these lines, these 2 lots cannot meet the 150-foot minimum requirement. All other lots in the phase meet the street frontage requirement. And throughout Orchard Hills, there is no curb and gutter installed in any of the phases. We looked over this based on the location and the previous phases of the subdivision. We would recommend approval to allow an exception for curb and gutter on this phase. Questions?
Thank you. That makes so much sense, and I appreciate y'all doing that.
Is the applicant here to speak in favor of this request? Okay, and as you're coming up, you can just state your name and address for the minutes.
My name is Patrick Hagman. My address for this case is 240 Skyline Drive. I'm with the Tyler Group representing Shaw Properties.
Any comments on the application?
No, ma'am.
You're good. You're all good with everything?
Yep.
Okay. Any questions? Easy peasy. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Have a motion from Lori and a second from Jay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And the chair votes aye as well. So that has passed. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We will now move into our public hearing item. I don't know if we can flash those guidelines that were up there at the beginning of the meeting back up on the screen, if we can do that. But just as we move into the public hearing item, there's some really good notes up there for those of you who maybe don't attend these meetings regularly. We will hear from the planning department. We will ask the applicant if they are here to speak in favor of the request. And we try to, and then we'll allow for anyone else to speak in favor of the request, and then we'll move to the opposition to see if there's any opposition to the request. We do ask that the first speaker keep your comments to 10 minutes, and then the subsequent speakers to no more than 3 minutes. We do ask that we limit speakers to 3 people on each side, both in favor and in opposition for, and so that's just so that we can give time and attention to ask questions and thoughtfully consider the proposal. Certainly not hard and fast rules, but guidelines for us to have a meeting that allows for us to thoroughly consider all of the requests. So those are some things that we've found to be successful historically. And so with that, we will move to the first item in our public hearing items, and Ryan has this as well.
Yes, ma'am. This is a rezone of a property from A1 to R1. It's 11.6 acres. You'll see it's located on the east side of Paget Road at the Spencer Lake Drive and Paget Road intersection. With the rezoning to R1, it's estimated that 67 single-family homes could be built here. The estimated average daily trips for vehicles would be 632. Currently, the closest count, which is at Paget, just north of the Paget Road and Prince intersection, is 1,000 average daily trips. This did come up about a little over a year ago. It was trying to be rezoned from A1 to PUD. They were requested to bring it back once the one-year moratorium ended. They're now bringing it back as an A1 to R1, which meets our use pattern and the comprehensive plan. Based on all that we've looked at, staff would recommend approval of this rezoning. Questions?
Not right now. Okay. Is the applicant here to speak in favor of this request?
Good evening. Preston Sanders here on behalf of the applicant. I appreciate the
Hey,
department's
Preston, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I think you got to give your address.
306 Salem Road, Suite 106, and that's here in Conway.
Thank you.
I don't have much to add. The department's done a great job here. I appreciate the report. I do think that A1 to R1 here is appropriate. We have a lot of R1 surrounding the area. As little as 6 months ago, we had the contiguous property to this property at issue be rezoned to R1. So I think it fits the plan. I don't think there would be any harm to adjacent properties. I'd be glad to try and answer any questions you guys might have for me, but other than that, I don't have much.
Any questions for the applicant? Anyone else here to speak in favor of this request? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition to this request? You'll just come to the microphone. If you'll state your name and your address for the minutes, please.
I'm Mary Ellen. I live at 5390 Pewter Drive, which is just around the corner from the property. I'm here in Conway. My concern is how many homes are going to be put on there? Is there going to be an ingress and an egress, or are they just having one way in? As I said the last time they were trying to rezone, I think, this property, I invited you guys to come and sit in my front yard and see how much traffic there is when the schools are in session. We already have somebody who frequently uses ambulance service in the neighborhood right behind this property. So there is a need for ambulance accessibility to get in and out, and to just have one entrance is not going to be okay, and you guys need to take that into consideration when you're approving a change. This is the property the neighborhood immediately behind there is smaller homes on smaller lots, but everything else in that area is larger homes. And so I'm really concerned about right next to an elementary school, the culture and status and character quality of the people coming in there. I know this is something that the Spencer Lake or Spencer Mountain community was very worried about last time there was a request to change this. So while you're considering, make sure we don't just have one entrance, and make sure that there is commensurate with what's around, that it'll be consistent with the area.
We really appreciate your comments and your questions. I'm going to ask the planning department to respond to what we're considering tonight versus maybe historical consideration with regard to the zoning request.
Yes, ma'am. According to the subdivision regulations, they can build up to 76 homes. I don't know that they will do that many, but by right, they can build up to 67 homes. And the subdivision regulations also require that anything over 30 has to have 2 entrances.
Oh, thank you. And do you know what size home they're planning on putting in?
I do not.
Square footage or lot size?
No, ma'am. All of that will be handled through the site development review. This is just a rezone that we're listening to tonight.
Okay.
And then the applicant will send it in to our planning staff, and they will do a complete site development review and address the sizes and construction and materials used, all of those things during site
All right,
development.
well, we're watching.
Yes,
and,
ma'am.
We'll be keeping an eye on what you do. Thank you.
Okay.
We appreciate that. And so just for clarity of the process, because process is fun. Any historical consideration within the last more than 12 months, was a request for a PUD. And tonight's request is only about the zoning. And so there is a bit of a difference. Because I know at night everybody sits around and reads planning department regulation and code and that sort of thing. Tonight is only about the zoning request, not about site development. So these are all very good questions. We appreciate you bringing them up. This is what the process is for. We just need to kind of clarify what the commission has been asked to do tonight. With that, is there anyone else here to speak in opposition for this request? Come on up to the mic. You are the first person in my entire life that has asked me to be louder. Can I get you to call my mother and tell her that? Okay, yes, I will. I'll scoot a little closer. Does that help? My apologies. Anyone else here to speak in opposition? Okay, with that, I'm going to bring it into commission for discussion.
I just want to say, I feel like the feedback we've gotten in the past was to be less dense, and I feel like this is exactly what this is doing. And obviously, future plans and things like that will be looked at, but just the zoning, I feel, is appropriate.
Yeah, just restating, R1 is our least dense residential. Yes,
Agreed.
that's least density we can go. So,
Yeah.
agreed.
Mirror those thoughts.
I think I recall comments from at least the council meeting that, something would go here. And so I think
Sure.
that was probably articulated. So I think to your point, it's the least dense that request we can have.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion from Alexander, a second from Ethan. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion stands as approved. So that we will move to item B, and I think Lauren has us for that.
Hello. Is that all right? Sorry, just want to make sure you can hear. So this first item that I have tonight is actually a concurrent request. So firstly, we'll be hearing a rezone from A1, which is our agricultural zoning, to a requested C2, which is neighborhood commercial. It's for 4.37 acres located at 333 Southeast German Lane, which is just about 900 feet north of the intersection of East Avor Drive and Southeast German Lane. Right now on the site, there is an existing single-family home on that southeast corner that is going to be broken off in the event of a replat at the time of development. The comprehensive plan indicates this area for single-family. Abutting uses are agricultural, residential, institutional uses consisting of a rural 6-lot subdivision built in the early 80s, vacant lots to the west and south, and then single-family homes and Conway Christian schools across East German there to the east. The C2 neighborhood district provides use areas for retail, trade, and personal service enterprises designed to serve surrounding neighborhoods. The site is currently unplatted and will have to undergo both site development and subdivision review. With a rezone to C2, the traffic impact could be slightly higher. I know they're intending to do a mini storage, which has a lower density of about 99 vehicle trips per day. Staff is going to recommend denial of the rezoning request because it would allow inappropriate use of the property in context to the surrounding area and uses. And there's no abutting commercial zones, which in essence is a spot zone, and it does not align with the single-family designation of the comprehensive plan. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is the applicant here to speak in favor of this request?
Good evening. Cody Ferris, 27 Bluebird Lane. So I'm an architect at Sau Architects located here in Conway. And tonight I'm here on behalf of Used Storage, who's looking to rezone 333 East German from A1 to C2 with a conditional use permit. So the fun begins. There's been some developments this week with the property. And so we're going to have to go ahead and request a tabling until next month. I don't know if you would like me to speak specifics on the actual project for the rezone or for just the CUP that's next.
Let's take them one at a time if we can do that.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So I guess for now, we're asking to table this one until next month to to see how this property kind of develops and where we go from there.
Okay. So I think the way that this is going to work, and anybody can jump in and be like, no, you're wrong, because that happens every now and then. I think we need to go through the public hearing process, but understanding that right now your request is to table it. If through the public hearing process we get to a point that there needs to be more discussion, we may need you to come back up here. And
Yeah,
so we
that's
may
great.
deviate from our guidelines a little bit, but we're gonna hang tight with your request to table it, but we need to
Yeah.
go through the public hearing process. Is that okay?
Yes,
Okay.
understood.
All right.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Is there anyone else here to speak in favor of this request? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition to the request? Come on up.
My name is Jacob Urbach. I live at 9 Langford Drive, Conway, right behind that property. I speak in opposition, and I can speak on behalf of everybody on Langford Drive because I have spoken with my neighbors. We are in opposition to this request. We do not want that in our neighborhood. We don't want anything that it brings with that to our neighborhood.
And I assume that you prepared your comments before you knew that the applicant would ask to table it. And so
Correct.
your comments tonight are about the specific requests that are on the agenda, but you're not in opposition of it being tabled.
Correct.
Okay, I just want to kind of clarify.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
perfect. Any questions? Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else here to speak in opposition to the request that was on the agenda or comments around the request to table it? We'll take both at the same time. Yeah.
So my name is Karen Wright. I live at 4 Langford Drive, and I'm not sure if I'm opposing to table it to next month. We come back next month, right?
We would still
Whenever
go through
when
the
it goes
public
through the
hearing
hearing.
process. Yes, yes.
Do I still need to address my opposition to this now or wait?
You have the right and ability to do that if you would like.
Okay, so I'm going to put it out there and I'll do it again later.
That's great. It's like dress rehearsal.
Yes, there you go. I am opposed to this for the main reason that it is a storage building. There are 20 self-storage buildings in the Conway vicinity with 2 new ones being built at this time. I do not feel like another storage building would be a good use for the property. Now, if it was rezoned for residential and broken up into 1-acre lots with homes on it, I'd be all for it. Just not a storage building. Because the adjacent property to this is owned by a company out of California. So if this property is zoned commercial, they will come back and zone that commercial. It is close to a school. I've talked to the president over there. He's opposed to it also for the potential criminal element that might come into play. So I don't know what else to say. It does have a large animal habitat over there with animals that you don't see everywhere. Hawks, eagles, owls. I've got a flying squirrel in my backyard. So I guess that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
We appreciate your comments. Are there any questions for? Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else here to speak in opposition to this request? Okay. All right. I'm going to bring it into commission. So we have this agenda item to consider, and we do have an applicant that has requested to table the motion. So what is the discussion from the commission?
So do we make a motion to table it to next month?
Is that what? Yes. Yes, that is for us to consider. And if that is something we want to do, we would need a motion to table this item.
I'll second that.
Guess it-
So I just need a motion first and then
I move.
okay, I have a motion from Alexander and then a second from Jay to table this till next month. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, we are going to table item B till next month, which will take us to item C, which I feel like this,
Yeah.
yeah.
So in essence, to basically be able to operate a conditional use, the property has to be appropriately zoned. Since we have tabled the rezone, there's really no reason to hear the conditional use permit request tonight. We'll have a public hearing at the September Planning Commission meeting. What, does anyone know that date? So as it stands, both of these items will be on the September 16th Planning Commission meeting.
I think perfect, thank you. And so I think with that, we will just go ahead and bring that into commission for discussion. We are going to have to take action on the item to table it as well.
The motion to hold the item till next month or to?
So I have a motion from Alexander to table this until next month. I have a second from Jensen. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, with that, items B and C of the agenda are tabled until next month. This brings us to item D.
So this next request is a rezone from 4.1 acres located at the southeast corner of Dave Ward Drive and South Donaghy Avenue, which is addressed 800 South Donaghy Avenue. Currently, the property is owned S1 institutional, and that's where Peace Lutheran Church is located. At this time, it's about a 10,000 square foot structure on site, and this comprehensive plan does indicate the area for multifamily. And actually, a large section of that area south of Dave Ward Drive, both directions of this site, is indicated as multifamily on the comprehensive plan. As we know, that's not how a lot of the area has developed in the most recent, probably 10 to 20 years. There's C2 to the north for the come and go with the conditional use permit. We have banking and some office space to the west that is zoned C3. To the south is a duplex development, and to the east is some more institutional religious uses. The C3 district is designated to encourage development of recognizable, attractive groupings of facilities to serve persons traveling by automobile. C3 districts do tend to be on major traveled arterials. So we have two major arterials intersecting right here at the section. So with the rezone to C3, traffic and possible subdivision of the lots, traffic impact can be significant. The highest density use in C3 by right is an eating place with drive-through. Right now, the highest traffic count data we have is over at the overpass on Dave Ward to the west, and that's 32,000 trips annually, or daily. The overlay for this district is the Dave Ward Access Management Plan. So any development of that site, any existing driveway accesses, curb cuts will have to conform to that access management plan, as will all lots that are going to be subdivided on that lot. As it is more in line with the comprehensive plan designation, the location with major arterials, and the adjacent zonings, we find C3 to be an appropriate rezone at the time. Any questions? Thank you.
Is the applicant here to speak in favor of this request?
So, Bobby French, 1021 Front Street, Central Arkansas Professional Survey, and I'm representing the church. At this time, I think they've bought a different church, and they're trying to sell this and move down to, I forget what the church is down there. Summit. I think they're buying Summit, and they're going to sell this. They have an offer, I think, from a restaurant. They wouldn't really tell me what restaurant it was, but I don't think it's not like a Wendy's or something like that. It's a sit-down restaurant. So part of their deal is the rezone, obviously. So that's kind of what they're wanting to do, is rezone for at this point. At least part of this property would be restaurant. I think they're going to keep their building there for now. If anybody got any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
I think we're good.
Oh, thanks.
Anyone else here to speak in favor of this request? Is there anyone present to speak in opposition to this request? All right. With that, I'm going to bring it into commission for discussion.
I'll make a motion to approve the rezone.
Second.
Got a motion from Alexander and a second from Lori. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. I'm sorry, I just looked at you and you caught my eye so that it was like peer pressure. I'm sorry. So this takes us to item E.
All right, so this is our last item tonight. It's a conditional use request for a mobile food vendor in the O1 zoning district for property at 2138 Old Morrilton Highway. So mobile food vendors are not allowed by right in all zones. In the O1, which is the general office zone, you have to have a conditional use permit to operate. The applicant is intending to develop the site with 5 concrete pads, a commercial dumpster, restroom, and improved parking. and some exterior outdoor eating. The comprehensive plan indicates this area is planned use development. A large section of Old Morrilton Highway is under that PUD designation. Honestly, don't really know why. I would assume most of it has to do with the intersection of exit 124 and the fact that it is a major arterial into town, but just a lot of development hasn't happened in this area in the past because sewer is not easily available, nor is water over the ridge. So right now, a lot of the development out there for higher density uses is kind of capped. Due to topographical grade constraints at the site, sewer will be an issue, so any higher intensity use will have to be on septic, and it's not that large of a lot, so septic will be hard to attain at the site regardless. The property has been platted in the past to meet all the O1 zoning designations. For a mobile food truck, it's usually about, I think, 30 mobile vendor patrons probably per truck, so we're looking around 150 patrons at the site per truck per day. As there's not a lot of adjacent uses out there, the two properties to the west and north are vacant. The owner of the site lives to the east, and to the south is just some single family use. As it's already zoned O1, staff did recommend 15 conditions for approval in the event that the Planning Commission should choose to vote to pass these conditions. Is there any questions?
I had one question.
Yes, ma'am.
How, it says on there, mobile vendors must obtain and keep their site permit. Is that something the city checks on?
Yes, ma'am. So mobile food vendors have to have a permit. It's issued yearly. So whatever day of the year they get it, it will be good through that time, but it has to be renewed every year. Mobile food vendors have to be on approved surfaces in appropriate zones. They have to have a restroom. They have to adhere to signage regulations for mobile food vendors. They have to meet requirements by the health department for sanitation disposal and items like that.
But somebody other than us checks up on that.
Yes.
This is just a condition.
It's issued, it's a permit
Okay.
issued. It'll be by the Permits and Inspections Department. Yes, ma'am.
You said the houses neighboring it are vacant. Is that correct?
The two lots to the west are vacant from what I
Lots to the
can view, and then the house to the east is owned by the owner of this site.
Okay.
And then to the north, right over that ridge is the interstate, so there's nothing there. And I don't know if any of y'all went out there, but the grade out there is intense. We had to almost put in four-wheel drive to get up that hill.
Four-wheelers welcome.
Oh, we need a department four-wheeler. Request made. Anything else?
Oh, no. There's going to be like an article that the department, like, nope, that's not what I said. It was a joke. Please do not print that in the log cabin or anything like that. I did not say that. Oh, Lord. Goodness gracious. I'm going to be in trouble. Stop it. Any other questions? We're doing so good.
Okay, I have one more question.
Sure.
If sewer, you didn't say septic was impossible, it was just gonna be hard, but they're requesting
Correct.
restrooms.
So they will have to, so by the regulations, they have to be able to service a restroom within 300 feet. Obviously,
Okay.
there's nothing in the vicinity. Typically, from what I've heard, to perk a lot, you need about 3/4 of an acre or just over an acre. I would assume, I don't know the feasibility of that, they'll have to do that test.
Gotcha.
Would porta potties qualify as that?
It does not. It has to be a
Good.
permanent restroom. And they are aware of that.
So basically, if it doesn't perk.
If it doesn't perk, that really caps any
Gotcha.
type of, I mean, you couldn't put a duplex.
Right.
Yeah. It's just a very difficult grade site.
I apologize for my ATV joke.
For what?
I apologize for my ATV joke.
It's fine. I'm from Stone County. That's what everyone drives on.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Is
you.
the applicant here to speak in favor of this request?
Patrick Hageman, 240 Skyline Drive. We are in favor of this. It has actually been perk tested already, and the soil will work for sewer purposes. We do have a plat available that we can show the location of those. I'm not 100% sure if I have it on me right now, but we can submit that to the city as well.
Any questions for the applicant? Thank you so much.
No problem.
Anyone else here to speak in favor of this request? Okay. Anyone to speak in opposition of the request? I don't see any on either, so I'm going to bring it into commission for discussion. I thought there were really good questions asked.
It is. It'd be a
So on
cool
the-
spot. Yeah.
On a letter from Tyler Group, it said hours of operation will be roughly 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. On the conditional use permit, they listed 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
10 to 10, I saw that.
10 p.m. sounds kind of late. I don't know if we could reduce that. to
Lauren's
match.
back
I was
up.
gonna
She's
say,
gonna-
I can clarify that. Those were the hours that they provided. I thought, like, there are breakfast food trucks in town, so I figured to capture that. I just did 10 because that's the nuisance, or, not the juvenile code, but whatever the noise ordinance is, 10 o'clock. You can set those hours. I opened them up because I thought 11 to 7 seemed kind of small, but that is y'all's discretion.
Nobody showed up in opposition.
Mm-hmm.
Make a motion to approve with the 15 conditions listed in the packet.
Got a motion by Ethan and a second by Jay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, with that, item E on the public hearing passes. And so that brings us to announcements. So I will ask our department director if she has any comments for the. Okay. Okay. Other than y'all are just doing a fantastic and exceptional job. I mean, just so good. Anything from planning team? Okay. Anything from commission? And so we're back here September, it was said earlier, but I already forgot. September 16th. September 16th at 5:30, we'll be back. It sounds like there are a couple items that were on tonight's agenda that will come back. And so with that, I will need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
All right. I don't think we have to vote on it. I think I can just say that we are adjourned. Thank you so much. Appreciate everybody coming out tonight.